Okay, so just a quick shout out to the Bisley channel for giving me inspiration to make this video. I'm kind of basing this video off of the When Video Games Were Simple essay that he made. And I think it's really good, it's amazing, and a lot of my topics and things that I'm going to bring to the table are based off of this video. So if you want to check it out, link in the description, feel free to go check it out before or after this video. I don't really mind, do what you gotta do. So I don't want this video to be all about the subject of gaming's dying, as you've probably seen many different slop videos saying the same thing, recycling the same content, saying that gaming isn't as fun as it once was, gaming isn't the same, and yeah, I guess you could say gaming isn't the same. It's fun, you just have to look in the right places. But generally speaking, there are some problems with current day gaming that I think could be worked on. And to add on to the video that this was based off of, I believe that gaming, there was more passion in creating a game, and they didn't have to worry about the profit made from games back in the day, because gaming wasn't as big as it is now. They didn't have to invest as much into their games, which made it easier for them to experiment things. I know I'm recycling the point in that previous video that I'm referencing, but because of that, creativity and all these amazing mechanics don't exist. For example, TF2 is such an intricate game that's from 2007, so many details in the game that people still play this game to this day. In fact, Overwatch 2 is a game that came out in 2022, and in comparison to TF2, which came out in 2007, it has less than half the current player count, which is shocking to me. But why is that? I think that's because TF2 has a lot of innovation from Team Fortress Classic and every other hero shooter, in my opinion, for its time. Whereas Overwatch 2, it's kind of recycled the same concepts, been shown again and again and again, and we all know that at this point, Overwatch 2 wasn't made to be a brand new game. It was just an excuse to monetize the game differently, and even more than Overwatch 1 was, which in my opinion is disgusting, because the game is already expensive as it is, with all the bundles and things, so it's ridiculous if you ask me. I think that currently the games that have been released recently, by AAA companies at least, heavily focus on graphics, and graphics isn't everything. Whilst it's important to have great graphics, sometimes it ends up making the game look like an Unreal 5 engine based project, and it doesn't feel like it has its own identity. What I really like about games from the early 2000s, early 90s to mid 2000s is that all these games have different things that make it stand out from one another, whether it be the art style, the mechanics, so on and so forth. It focuses on specific modes. Now I feel like games are just trying to be everything. You see in COD now there's a Squid Games game mode, and in Fortnite there's all these extra game modes beyond Battle Royale. Overwatch 2 has its own Lucio Ball mode, and I know that has existed in Overwatch 1, but it's the same thing that I'm trying to preach. COD has also had a Warzone, Marvel Rivals has introduced a football mode. It's just, my point is that all these games are introducing different things that don't belong to what the game's supposed to be. It doesn't have an identity in the game. It's just an additional thing that doesn't really need to be there. They should really invest their budget into stylizing their game and making it unique to what it is. Now, I'll give credit where credit is due. Marvel Rivals does this amazingly, and in my opinion, that's what separates Marvel Rivals from Overwatch and TF2 and all the other hero shooters. Its art style is very unique, and I don't think that any other hero shooter quite replicates it as good as Marvel Rivals does. Now, in recent years, indie gaming has been the complete reverse. There's been so many amazing indie games such as Power World, Undertale, Stardew Valley, Hades, Hollow Knight. Did I say Stardew Valley? I think I have. Terraria, and so on and so forth. I can go on for ages. The list does not end there. But with these games, I think what makes them stand out is that it really focuses on what content it's trying to show to the audience. And I know I phrased that poorly, but by that what I mean is, if it's supposed to be a first-person shooter game, it will be a first-person shooter game and exclusively focus on being a first-person shooter game. It won't try and add unnecessary game modes that we never asked for or additional things. Now, the additional things are cool, but it won't heavily focus on them, if it makes any sense. They are an afterthought, and what comes first is, with the small budget that they do have as a studio, what unique things can they bring to the game that will attract players to play play the game, because they don't have the same budget as AAA games, so they can't focus on graphics all the time. And so what they have to focus on instead is the art style, because the art style can actually be better than the graphics, more important than the graphics. In my opinion, art style is more important than the graphics because it helps you distinguish the game. We know that Telltale, how they make their games and what Telltale games look like, because we can see the Walking Dead games and the Batman story games, and you can just see that it's a Telltale game. You don't even have to see the title of it to know it's a Telltale game. Now, that's what I think stands out for all these indie games and why they get so much attention in the modern era, where in the modern era, all these AAA games are coming out, they all feel same-y, and they have high budgets, so they're scared to make anything that isn't safe in terms of making profit, so they have to make something that everyone will enjoy. Now, making something that everyone will enjoy is a bit repetitive because there isn't much things that everyone enjoys. So what indie games excel in my opinion, is that they focus on very specific things. It could be world building, it could be a fishing game, I don't know, it could be anything. But my point is, the things that it does focus on, it focuses on heavily, and it focuses on making it attract a user. Now, with all these different things in these expensive AAA games, it kind of distracts you from what the game is and what brings you to the game. Like, what is the unique selling point to COD when there's millions of other COD-like games nowadays with different spin-off features? That's one reason why I think COD is just dying. I think the first-person shooter market is just saturated, and there's so many lookalikes and similar games with different tweaks, and that's why they can't survive. Contrary to popular opinion, I do think that AAA gaming does achieve a couple of good things that other games could also adopt. For example, games being grindy. I actually believe that that's a good thing because it keeps the playtime going. Not a boring kind of grind, but a grind that makes you want to keep going. For example, a battle pass, or I don't know, I can't think of anything off the top of my head besides that. But my point is, even unlocking things by leveling up, okay, these things are great in my opinion. I think they're good. The grind is good because it keeps you interested. When people hack or mod GTA 5 online and they get everything instantly, after a week or two they get really bored and completely quit. And I know that because I've done that myself, and I've spoken to many people that have modded and hacked, and they say to me the same thing. The game gets really boring after a week or two. So I believe, in contrary to popular opinion, that grinding is a good thing. Now, there are other problems that gaming currently has with things like live service gaming. I think that is horrendous. That is terrible. And overpriced and constant DLC to every single part of the game. That's ridiculous. Why is it like a 2012 mobile game which has ads everywhere? Well, this doesn't have ads everywhere yet, but it does have a bunch of microtransactions. Games are filled with microtransactions, and it's absurd because a lot of these games cost around £60-70, which is a lot of money, and people can't afford to buy that many games. A lot of gamers are young people, so it becomes a struggle for some gamers. Now, me myself, I don't struggle with that issue, but I could understand why people do. And I'm a really big person about ownership in gaming. I really dislike DRM and live services, so I really personally want that to go, but I doubt that ever will. Anyways, this was only meant to be a short video. I know it's gone a little bit longer, but just let me know what you guys thought about this subject, and if you have any thoughts of your own, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to upload more often. I'm looking forward to making the next video whenever that is.